Formula One Bet. My name is Noah Mosley, and thank you so much for watching. Today, I'm going to give you my top 3 contenders to challenge Max Verstappen for the Formula One World Drivers' Championship for 2024. I've reviewed all of the main sports books, and I have the best odds to put on your driver to challenge Max Verstappen. Let's go ahead and let's get into it. I've recorded odds from 6 different sports books, and here are my initial thoughts. Wow, ESPN Bet is really trying to control the money of Formula One, especially with them being a newer book here in the United States. It's pretty shocking that they have some of the higher odds when looking at all of the other comparisons of sports books and their odds for the drivers. So I thought that was pretty shocking. And also looking at Daniel Ricciardo himself, his odds are nearly half of what Yuki's are. And when comparing the two, Yuki is definitely the better driver of the two. And so what does Vegas know that we don't? I think it's pretty telling that I think that they're calling for a Daniel Ricciardo midseason swap with Checo Perez. I think if Checo really does not perform and meet that Red Bull standard, he will get replaced. If he has a midseason slump like he did last season, he will get replaced with Daniel Ricciardo. So I can see it already. So I think that's pretty interesting when looking at the table. My next takeaway from the table was Lance Stroll. Now, looking at Lance Stroll, his odds were over 100,000. Now, ESPN Bet is so confident that Lance Stroll will not win the World Drivers' Championship, they are willing to put him in the same conversation as Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly, where their car is nowhere near the same levels as Lance's at Aston Martin. My third driver that I think that could possibly beat Max Verstappen for the World Drivers' Championship would be George Russell. Now, George has a lot of potential, and he has been building up for many seasons. Now, there's no question anymore that he is the #1 driver at Mercedes. Lewis has made his announcement that he is jumping over to Ferrari as of 2025. And so George is going to have all of the priority when it comes to strategy. You know, he's not going to have to fight back and forth like he was doing last year with Lewis. And we saw that at a couple of races. And so I think moving forward, the sky's the limit for Mercedes. They've introduced a new front wing, and I think that they could potentially propel themselves back up to the front of the grid. And sitting at my #2 spot is Charles Leclerc. Now, Charles is sitting at 2,200 odds over on DraftKings Sportsbook. And honestly, what are they smoking? He was potentially Max's biggest threat back in 2022. And I just don't understand where the discrepancy is. He just needs a better car and a great strategist, and he will perform. I understand he had a couple of hiccups last year, and I think that was potentially to the reliability of the car, but I will say that he has smoothed those out, and so I feel like he would be a good bet. And they can't bomb the strategy forever, right? And my #1 driver to lock in to challenge Max Verstappen for the 2024 World Drivers' Championship is Lando Norris. Now, I'm not trying to just be a fanboy here, but I truly believe that Lando has what it takes to defeat Max. And I also believe that McLaren has positioned themselves in a spot to challenge Red Bull. I think that looking at the development of last year of McLaren, you know, especially starting the season, you would have never thought that they would be in this position, you know, especially being a McLaren fan, you never saw it coming, especially when it came to Austria. And, you know, we skyrocketed out of the back of the grid, and, you know, that feeling was so exhilarating. I know that Lando has the passion and the desire to defeat Max, because especially last season, you know, with him just being so close to getting that very first F1 win, and yet still not getting it. And, you know, I think it really gutted Lando, you know, seeing Oscar win that sprint race, you know, and, you know, Lando wasn't able to win a sprint or win a race in general. And, you know, I think that fuels, you know, his fire tremendously. And so, you know, with looking at the team that McLaren has now, and the skill set that Lando has, especially when it comes to qualifying and managing his race, he is up there with Max. Now, do I believe he has what it takes? Yes. I just need to see him be consistent on a race to race basis. And that's just what we haven't seen out of him. But, you know, with looking at his odds, I really think that he has, you know, a great chance to go ahead and defeat Max. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't done so, please like, comment, and subscribe down below. I'll be making more content like this in the future. Looking ahead, we have our first Grand Prix coming up, looking at the Bahrain Grand Prix, and you know, I'll be doing a video over the racing lines and the qualifying lines, you know, going into the weekend. So keep an eye out for that. But other than that, I have been making several changes to the channel, and I'll continually be making improvements to go ahead and get this refined. So, you know, I kind of just threw a new logo in, you know, this time, and I'm happy to be moving forward with that logo. So, you know, just several changes will be happening, so don't be surprised when you see them. So, thank you guys so much again, and happy racing.